Well, this is infuriating. Who needs to know how many seconds there are before hitting the vehicle in front of you? What I need to know is that the vehicle will actually stop or maintain that distance. So what do we got for today? Looks like we have a Chevy Suburban. Huge vehicle, but let's get around it. You know, we got that nice Suburban script on the side, nice kind of gray-green exterior with the color-coded door handles. Definitely nice little premiumization for GM. If we step around back, nice Suburban script on the back, has those nice dual exhausts. This is a Premier Edition, so I believe that's top of the line for the Chevy lineup. Suburban script there on the door, front door as well. And then step around front, not a bad looking vehicle. This one comes with a remote start, so let's step around back and hear that V8 come to life. Nothing like the sound of an American V8. Go ahead and step around the side so we can get into this. Open her up. Wrong button. There we go. Stepping up into this vehicle. Got screens on for your main speedometer controls. You're in the center screen. Most of these new cars have these new little startup graphics. Let's get into it. So for today, we have a Chevrolet Suburban. So last time we had, what was it, a Yukon Denali. So very similar trucks, except this one is much bigger. Huge. It's like driving a bus. But funny enough, it's actually not that bad. It drives actually much smaller than it feels. But going over a few of the similarities and differences, all in all, it's the exact same truck, basically the same switch gear, same type of buttons. However, here you get a digital dash and a separate digital infotainment, whereas on the Denali, it was a much bigger screen. I don't think it's worth the premium. This works fine. Also, this wood grain on here, actually, in my opinion, I think looks, dare I say, more real, even though it is pretty fake. But the grain in it, I think, looks better than it did in the Denali. You have some nice, materials, nice for GM materials, a little leatherish material there, leatherish maybe on the dashboard here. But the one weird thing about this, and I don't think it's acceptable at all in this day and age, is having a safety suite of protection like in a car these days. So for example, you can get a Toyota Corolla, or not maybe a Corolla, but maybe a Camry. It has lane keep assist, it has adaptive cruise control, and comes in under 40,000 bucks. Whereas with this is not a cheap truck, and they cheap out on you. However, it does have this button here, so maybe out in the comments you guys can explain this, where it does change the gap, adjust. However, thinking I did actually have adaptive cruise control on this for this rental, but I almost ran into the back of someone because it does not slow the vehicle down. So I have no idea. Actually, I'll put in a video of actually what it does, but not quite as sure what the purpose of this actually is. It's probably some option. One thing also I noticed that I do not like is with these GM, you have to subscribe. Like, this is not a cheap truck. To get a map, you should not have to subscribe to something to get a map. Granted, you do have Apple CarPlay, which works awesome, but again, in my Toyota 4Runner, the map is there, it works, it's great. Maybe not as high resolution, but that's cheap. What else? You have dual zone climate control, heated, 3-tier seats. Yeah, it's ventilation. Now there's your ventilation seats. front for passenger and driver. This is a very interesting party trick. So up here, what looks like to be like a cruise control or sunroof, actually it moves this whole, that is not from me, that's from the previous person who rented this car. So Avis, you need to do some cleaning, but basically it's this powered console that moves up front and back, giving your rear seat passengers more access to cup holders. You get this nice open space to keep your purse, I guess, or big whatever. But yeah, that was very interesting. Also up here you have other controls for the lift gate. You have your garage doors. These fold on the seats up and down. And yeah, all in all, like, it's not bad. I can definitely see the appeal, of these vehicles. There we go. But again, how much miles do we have on this? We have about 17,000 miles. There's some little glitchy things. The screen actually started doing something weird with some of the pixels earlier. And again, this is why I buy Toyota, but because you don't run into those issues typically. But overall, GM's really upped their game compared to GMs of the past. And again, big V8, it definitely does have its appeal. And yeah, real quick, you can go into your, driving modes, normal, sport, off-road, trailer. What else? You have, what's nice too, I think, about these two, like the transfer case, it's open, so you can have auto. So you don't always have to have it in 2 low or, 4 high, 4 low. You can actually put in auto, so you can set it and forget it, which is what most people probably will do, but you could save a little bit of gas, by putting it here in 2 low. But the going gets tough, you can, go in 4 high when you're off-road. If it gets really tough, you can go in 4 low and change your driving mode, to off-road. So it's going to adjust your throttle response, probably transmission, mapping and stuff. So we'll make it perform a little bit better off-road for you. But that, all in all, is basically it. Nice heated steering wheel. Again, this thing is just huge. It's really kind of the big story here. She's big. But again, with the backup cameras and then all the parking assist. So as you see, like, I'll put it in drive here. And you can see there, it does pop up a little warning up there to show how close you are to things up in the front, because really, you can't see shit out of this thing because it's just massive. And then you go in reverse, nice high res, backup camera, where the angles do turn when you turn the wheel, which is kind of nice. I do wish my Toyota had that, but it's not gonna make or break if I'm gonna buy a Toyota or a GM or not. Toyota all day, every day, or Toyota products, Lexus, included. So that is about it. Again, it's basically the same as the Denali. I have to check on the engine size. It does feel like it has a little bit less pickup, but that could also be because it's, that much bigger. But I do think they use a smaller V8 in this than they do in the Denali. But yeah, all in all, I do see the appeal of these giant trucks. They're comfortable to ride in. However, I do think it's unacceptable to have to not have adaptive cruise control or safety sense type protection. It does have the warning for the blind spot monitoring, but still, lane keep assist and something this big, and then also the adaptive cruise control are things that should just be non-options. They are just included base spec, in this day and age, especially since Toyota's doing it, the majority of their vehicles today. That's it for today. Come join me next time when and see what I get to rent next. Peace.